How would Zero try and ensure that the team
Yeah,
fight stays in
like
one
you look
area?
at the team fight right now, they have Mars and Kunkka. So
Yeah.
Tiny and Bat kind of don't really like to fight into that. They're like very scrappy fights, you know. They want to drag two heroes on the left,
Yep.
two heroes on the right. But then Omni kind of wants everyone to stick together, you know, so he can help everybody at the same time. So it kind of doesn't really work very well together.
I mean, I would say this is an off-lane Mars, but it's Zero playing, and they like putting this Mars in the mid lane. So I think this will be a mid Mars and an
okay.
off-lane Kunkka. They haven't played off-lane Mars yet. It's always been mid. So now you have a situation where you have overall last pick. Is there anything cool you can do here?
You want them to win in style? Is that what you're saying, Fio?
Well, they have last pick of the game. It kind of feels like weird to
For carry, yeah.
pick a carry there.
Or not a carry.
I mean, they had Wind
Or
Ranger. That was
Wind
a
Ranger,
carry,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Come on,
I was
Jake.
wondering where
Get with the
Tiny was
meta.
going to go. I wonder if Bat could have went
forward.
mid, stuff like that. But they're going to just go ahead and pick up the Brewmaster, which, by the way, Morta does not like it when a Brewmaster runs at this hero. However, if you do get farmed enough, you do decent AoE cleave damage. Like the big counters to Brew have always been like the Gyrocopter,
Kill the pandas.
Spins that just kill the pandas. Morta, unfortunately, just doesn't do enough of that, but it sort of can do it. You have to be really farmed.
He's also good against the Tinker in a way. You can dispel the defense matrix.
That's true.
Yeah, that's fair.
Even throwing up like a Kunkka or Mars in the fight before they can press their spells can be pretty impactful.
So this feels like, again, almost tripling down of this. We want to separate the fights a little bit. Take at least one hero out if they want to try and contain it to an area. Then we've got the Brew to overlap and look after that and lift someone up. Try and always give us the numbers advantage in whatever engagement we want.
Yeah, that is one way to beat
Look at
the
it.
overwhelming team fight that comes from a Kunkka and a Mars is you just pick like arguably the most overwhelming team fighter in the game. And the thing that this is a quote from Avery that really resonated with me back in the old days. he said Brew really likes when a fight is like anchored somewhere. So that's why Brew Disruptor is really good, because if he can just hit his pandas on you, like he's going to kill you. He's going to win that fight. He can get multiple rounds of spells off, and it's really, really OP, right? So that's why people pick Centaur versus Brew. You just run the hell away. Tiny and Bad are very good at anchoring fights. So I think this turns their Tiny and Bad into team fighters, which lets them play into the overwhelming team fight that's on the other side.
So is this going to be the second W for 1W?
Yeah, they very well might be 2-dub after this one.
I'm going to have to look at changing the names. Winter, any other thoughts for you?
No, my heart is with Team Zero bringing us a game 3.
You want another game number 3 here?
Yeah, more time with you, more time watching Dota, why not?
Well, I was hoping that we might be able to get a little bit more from 1W's coach. Unfortunately, no. We're just going to get straight on into our game with our casters, Cap and SBG.
Well, the panel has already taken all the name puns out of it and really beaten that horse to death. And Jenkins has already taken your analysis, so I'm not sure what's left for our intro.
I never said any of that for the record. I don't know why he keeps attributing this quote to me. But whatever, power to him. I mean,
He said I never won.
we can always just make stuff up and feel good about it. We'll see if Team Zero can make up a 1-game deficit here as they try and stave off elimination and go to a game 3. And they have done it with, well, perhaps the riskiest hero in Dota 2, dare I say that?
Seriously.
Muerta. This is a hero with insane potential, can easily 1v5 a game, maybe one of the most powerful 6-slotted heroes Dota's ever seen. But can you get there?
No, you can't.
Okay, well, we've answered that. But the second question is, can you get there, Austin?
I feel like, yeah, maybe this hero has insane potential, but how often do teams actually get to realize that potential? Hardly ever, I feel like. I feel like this is a hero that like 20% of the time you get to see Muerta actually carry the game, and the other 80% of the time she just loses. And that includes Team Zero, by the way, who ran this hero in multiple qualifiers. Qualifiers for EWC, qualifiers for TI, qualifiers for Wallachia. And they took their fair share of L's throughout those quals, let me tell you.
I'm hearing a lot of doubt, but
I have a lot of doubts.
let me ask you something, Austin.
Okay.
Do you know who the #1 Muerta player in the world is in terms of win rate?
It's not Erica.
No, I don't know who it is. That's my point. Like, who plays this hero? That's part of the problem. You can't look to what other people are doing on it because nobody plays it. So we understand the theoretical potential of the hero.
Uh-huh.
But we've yet to see it come to fruition. This is another game. I mean, I respect the decision, right? Like, you want to play this 4 protect 1 playstyle with the 2 frontline brawlers. Muerta is a hero that can thrive in that situation, but this hero needs lockdown, it needs a lot of catch, and it needs you to hold heroes in the vicinity of her kind of immobile team fight. They do have a lot of that as well. I think this is a well-structured Muerta lineup. On the flip side, the one...
Whoa, how so? Can you explain why it's a well-structured Muerta lineup?
Well, one, they have save and heal through the Tinker.
Okay.
And Boat Rum. Like, this hero needs buffs. And there's either 2 ways to play with Muerta. You either make her a super mobile hero, which she lacks. Like, you play the Io Muerta, or, I don't know, Darkseer Muerta, whatever.
Centaur, yeah, sure.
Yeah, and you get her to enemy heroes, or you lock enemy heroes in a cage with her.
Yeah.
She will win the cage match. You have Arena to do that, you have X to do that, you have Hookshot Cogs to do that. I mean, you can't ask for much more.
Yeah, you've actually got 3 heroes to keep 1W in one spot.
They're going to create the cage and try and put him in there.
Would you say that they anchor them in one spot?
No, I would not say that, actually. I think it's more of a, you know, hold them in a vicinity type deal.
No, not even for the Sea Captain puns? Okay.
Flip side, though, is I think 1Dub kind of saw this idea coming and have addressed it in some nice ways with the displacement. The Tiny and the Back can both just isolate a target, bring them out of that sort of cage match identity, and really make the team fight difficult for Team Zero to commit into and convert on. And I think Brewmaster's another hero that is a huge backline disruptor and an interesting idea versus Tinker. We've seen a lot of Tinker this tournament. We've seen a lot of, you know, I think casual ideas versus it. But I think Brew is one of the harder, like, counters in theory. If you can just toss the Tinker, catch him in a fight, he kind of just sits there and continually casts March and his shields and his roots and whatever. But if you can just toss him and then take the fight, seems pretty nice.
Okay, I thought you were going to say the Dispel.
Yeah,
like, if he's going to
Dispel
preemptively barrier everybody, one Dispel comes through, ruins all that?
Right, Brew has Tornado and Mass Dispel. They're both really good versus Tinker.
Sure.
You can also toss up the 4 protect 1 carry in this instance. If you want to throw the Morta up into the air, you remove like a huge chunk of the damage from this Team Zero lineup.
Yeah, that's always the biggest
really
issue with Muerta, right? If she pops her ultimate and she has this very limited window to win the team fight, and one tornado could ruin that entire timing.
Exactly. So I think the Brew pick is really smart on paper here. Not a hero we see a lot, but they have all the pieces to make it work. Batrider can bring the team fight to you. Omni Knight can let your Wind Ranger go in when you commit into the fight. So I think it makes a lot of sense here. Really smart drafting, and I don't know, could be a very exciting game if this goes late and both these carries find a lot of farm. They're both very dangerous with those 5 slots.
Yeah, it's true.
On low.
Tort does land, but Monkushi is able to get 1 hit in. Not a second for the kill, Ponlo. Not your former teammate. Is able to get away.
Did some research there. Huh?
You feel better about that?
I do. Thank you.
Listen, man, Quincy Crew was like your team just because you weren't there. Just because you abandoned them for a year.
I will say, a product of my career in this game is I have been in a lot of these TI elimination matches.
Yeah.
Didn't want to, but I have been here. And I will say they, despite what it looks like, they are very stressful. Not as stressful as the BO1s.
Okay.
Which, you know, they got rid of those after I retired, little sus, but they are still very stressful, especially when you come down to these elimination games. Like, you start to feel the pressure, you know? If you start to lose a team fight in that mid game and it's your elimination game, those thoughts start creeping in, right? Like,
yeah,
this is the last fight I'm going to have at this tournament. Is this where it all ends?
The laning phase
start looking for a job.
Particularly rough.
Exactly. Yeah. So
you start thinking about getting a regular 9 to 5.
So my point is, for Team Zero, the start here is pretty important.
Well, they're going to be thinking about whether or not this was the first blood that leads Cloud into the same dominating position he was in Game 1, because he absolutely destroyed that first game off the Beastmaster. And we talked about how the Brewmaster is pretty well positioned to counter the Muerta in this one. And already 25-5 in CS and has gotten the first blood. A good start for 1Dub.
At least this game is going better for 7E. I mean, that is going to be the player that I think Zero are hoping has a much better time. Like, he just got completely shut down by that Invoker. They first phase banned it. I think they easily identified it was a big problem in that first game.
Yeah.
So if this Mars could start to run around the map with some power runes, do what they wanted that Earth Spirit to do last time, maybe this game could be a bit faster for Team Zero and they don't find themselves in a deficit. If 1Dub get away with a similar type of early game they did in that Game 1 with this kind of lineup, I think they are going to be very happy running around the map, finding the pickoffs, building up some stacks for the Bat or, you know, Whirlwind Wind Ranger, which is something you have to think about as well. And just kind of playing that kind of pickoff style displacement into team fights going to be for them.
Yeah.
6-minute power rune is Illusion, not the most useful here for either hero, and should be secured for 70 if he can survive.
If he can survive. A pin back onto the Tiny. He does have Pombo helping him out here, trying to give him some extra HP, but it's not good enough. The toss, a crash landing, gets the kill, but Sweet and Strong is sacrificed for it. Chiro Jr. doesn't mind, though.
That was so much damage. The heal not enough to come through, and that is Team Zero bringing both supports to mid to try and get a power rune for this Mars. And he still dies. And he used the arena, so you can't really even make a move off this or something that's cheeky. Another solid start here for 1Dub. I mean, they are top of the CS chart, and once more it is Cloud leading the pack in terms of net worth. He is big again.
Now, there was another reason that I think you like the Mars right now. You were talking to me about this yesterday. It's good for being able to lock heroes down, but there's another thing that's really good about it in this meta, right?
I mean, it's the anti-ranged carry idea. Like, if you're in a ranged carry meta, Mars is kind of an anti-ranged right-clicker. You just sit there with Bulwark, you redirect a lot of shots. Arena's really annoying for heroes like Lina, Mirana, even Wind Ranger sometimes to deal with until you just BKB commit. I think he does have a lot of value in this meta as a hero. I mean, his win rate reflects it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so we'll see whether or not how effective that Whirlwind is going to be in these situations where Monkushi is currently putting it to use here to try and hunt down Pombo. A toss over to try and get respect within striking range. Doesn't actually work out. All he's able to do is throw the repel onto Monkushi to get him away. But no kill to be found here. Perhaps one at bottom lane where Sweet and Strong as well as Cloud are surrounding, yes sir, who will go down. not getting anything out of this either because ZZQ might end up dying here. Wait, 7E comes in, hits the pin onto Respect, manages to get that kill, and Chiro Jr. is going to find that the Mars is too tanky to do much.
All those rotations top end up leaving the Morta alone. One creep off level 6. No hope in that 1-on-2. And once more, I think OneDub mostly happy with that exchange just because the Brews continue to accelerate and they got the big Morta kill, but that exchange top was at least good for Zero here. They get a lot of XP for 7E. He gets involved in this early game, gets the 8-minute power rune as well, which is a big one for this Mars. The resources are really important for this hero. Do lose your stacks, but you protect the ancient stacks at least, and start to slowly clear through them here.
Yeah, Ponlo's gonna start working on it, but he's not level 6, so he can't actually do it yet. Throws out one March of the Machines to make him a little bit weaker, but there's no rearm to throw a second one.
Very tough one. And this hasn't been a laney phase where the Morta has found a lot of action either. Kind of just been farm trading down here, but still in an okay position. Team Zero just want to protect their side of the map. The stacks will continue to be built up by Sweet and Strong on the side of OneDub, going probably into the Whirlwind or maybe give it to the Tiny as well. Get a faster blink here would be nice.
It is pretty interesting. Twice now they've fed the Kunkka some stacks. A hero that I usually feel like doesn't need the stacks because he is able to play the laning phase so efficiently most of the time.
I mean, your mid's not taking it in this game. The Morta can't do it that early.
Yeah, that's true.
I think this situation is the only one who's clearing through them fast enough early, and you want to clear through them because you need the experience in this type of game. You need the experience in every game.
Yeah, certainly needed for the Tinker who, you know, we were casting that game yesterday where these longer games can be very favorable for the Tinker because of the amount of farm that you can get, but we saw from OneDub in game 1, they played a super fast game. At some point in time, they came online and just started running over Team Zero. So what is Team Zero going to do to stop this? As the 10-minute power rune approaches, Chiro Jr. throws out the Avalanche, try and stop him, but it doesn't spawn there. 7E is going to try and make his way to the other side, but Omni-Knight is already there, one step ahead of him to claim an Arcane Rune.
I will say, it feels like everything happening around mid lane for 7E in these games has just been frustrating.
Yeah.
Like, all these little things are just not adding up to his game being smooth, and I think OneDub are overall pretty happy with it. The one difference I think in this game from that first one is the objective taking for OneDub is a lot worse. Like that Beastmaster just barreled through all the objectives. They took all the tier 1s off that first Aegis at around the 16-minute mark. They were clearing through Ancients, they cleared through Roshan. This lineup does not do all that as fast or smoothly. So if you're Zero and you can defend your tier 1s in a game like this and fight around them, you're going to be pretty happy.
Particularly with the Tinker. Yes, sir, he's going to be caught in a lasso as he pops his ultimate and doesn't really get any damage done. The Brewmaster got off his primal split, and they're going to try and surround this Muerta as best as possible. The arena, look for the protection. Erica in some trouble. Plays inside the arena and fights back where he can, but Chiro Jr. now jumping into this one couldn't add enough damage. Looks like Pablo has been able to, oh, power shot! That's able to finish him off with the extra minute. Take damage out of Shackle Shot. Locking down both 7E as well as Beyond. Throws out the spear. It just pushes Chiro Jr. back to the back line as Munkushi will take over the team fight now and looks to chase after 7E with the urn on him. Another Shackle Shot coming up soon. A toss gonna be denied as the spear throws him back where he came from. And 7E is able to get out of there, but it's still 2 dead on the side of Zero, and OneW bringing the pace that we were talking about from that game 1. 5 heroes at 11 minutes in, pushing in that safe lane.
Honestly, that should be a good fight for Zero. Like, you're fighting under Marches, it's a massive arena. You kind of dealt with the Brilliance, you kept your Morta alive, but not enough damage to cut through all the early sustain from this Omni-Knight. Seeds of Serenity's getting popped down. These are some tanky brawlers in Tiny and Brew as well, especially with Repel to back them up. I feel like 7E hit a 5-man spear at the end.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a 5-man spear, but maybe that's what the tip's for. It's like, you got us, bro, but none of us died, so wasn't that good.
OneW, they got 2 kills, but immediately after that one, Zero is able to push in mid and take that mid tower. So, as you said, the objective taking a little bit more favorable for Zero in this game.
They're holding their map a bit better. Still, those tier 1 fights are going to be important, right? If you want to play this kind of Tinker Morta slow farm up type strategy and just get your forward position really big. Holding these tier 1s is really important, particularly the last 2 that are alive, to control your ancients a bit better.
I was about to say, safe lane tower is kind of inevitable.
Yeah,
right?
for
It's
sure.
like a hard tower to defend.
I mean, they wanted the fight out of that more than the tower.
Sure.
It just didn't go their way. One Dub actually want to take these towers down. Like, they need to be thinking about some maybe aggressive smokes with blink reveals to latch a good core, take him out of the map, and then convert on these tier 1s, start opening up the lanes a bit more. I feel like that is what would feel the best for them. And you're mainly looking at the Batrider blink, the Tiny blink to enable that. This Brew's going to be able to join any of these fights, but he needs the initiation. I mean, you can just smoke Cloud behind this tier 1 mid and like kind of force the fight that way, but it feels a little awkward. Though Vessel already done a lot of early fighting power, and we saw the dispels coming through in that fight. There were a couple shields that just instantly disappeared for Ponlo there.
Yeah, and as a result, Erica did die ever so barely.
Future Tiny blink reveal.
Smoke on smoke. Jr. with his blink dagger. What's he going to choose to jump here? Apparently nothing. The Avalanche completely whiffs, but ZZQ also can't really do anything by himself. He's a level 6 Clockwork. These heroes are tanky enough to deal with a battery assault, no problem.
Found more than they were willing to deal with there. Does get a decent obs that I think will not get dewarded, but another power room contested. Another taken away from 7E.
He's really just not getting much love out of it. Like, the one power rune he got was a regen, which is not a rune that you can make a good fight happen, unless you're a Storm.
I mean, it's been a battle of inches for 7E in this series. He's not gained a lot of them.
And he's fallen short.
That is true. Blink Dagger done, though. So his options open up a lot more here.
What do you do with this Blink Dagger? What's your play that you're looking for? You got a 2,000 net worth lead for 1W. You have taken the mid tower. Smoke up, go to the enemy safe lane. That's usually the play at this point, right?
I think the Wisdom Rune smoke would have been really nice if you could have done it in this game, but your timings didn't line up for it.
Okay.
If you could smoke and find this Wind Ranger on the map, super happy with that. Like, you can find him on Triangle, get some deep orbs out. I think it is doable in this type of game where 1W are going to be kind of splitting the lanes looking for pickoffs. Your other route is to just go on the Brewmaster, because, I mean, he does have to push waves out. You're going to see him on the map. Like, Cloud's going to play tanky. He has 2200 HP. This is not the easiest hero to jump. You have to keep in mind, you know, the magic resist stashes this hero can bring to the table, particularly if he gets the haze off first. But he's the biggest target to bring down. You have some heroes that can control him and do it. It's just scary. If you don't see other heroes on the map, if you don't get lanes in, these kind of jumps are a bit spooky. And right now, if you're looking at the lanes, Team Zero are just not winning that battle. They don't see a lot. They're going to try and go for the brew down here.
You're being sandwiched. Cloud. He is not going to be the target, so he's going to be good to either get out of here or use his Primal Split. Sweden Strong is just trying to delay the damage, but I'm pretty sure he knows his life is forfeit, at least for now. Jared Jr. jumping in, though, catches the Tinker. Maybe just what they wanted, but he can't burst him down easy, though. Ponlo, he just gets out of there. The Primal Split comes in too late. He is able to toss up the Huerta, though, as the Huerta pops that. They focus on ZZQ. ZZQ with his dying breath, perhaps not dying, gets off a cogs, sets up the. Oh, Cherichu is able to blink away just before it. Now the Gleipnir, just like last team fight. Munkushi's going to try and come in, but now he's battling up against the Blade Mail, has to back away with his Whirlwind, away from the Kunkka for now. Kunkka, now the Blade Mail is dead. 1W can go in and try and finish him off. A pin onto the Tiny, yes. With the Ghosts out, it's hard to be able to fight around that, but it seems like Team Zero just running out of gas, and they are not able to keep this fight going. 7E. He will go down as well. They may have saved Erica's life, but it cost them so much more.
It's another fight where Zero are so close to pulling out some big kills, but I mean, you do 9,000 damage compared to 10,000, but you're the one losing 3 for the 1.
Yeah.
Damage is just getting split around a lot with these marches and AoE spells, and 1W, I mean, very clutch blink out from Tiny to dodge that bow coming in. Shiro Jr. really played that fight well. And they kind of kited out this Muerta ulti, right? Like, it got some work done, but if anything, I felt like the callings were more impactful. They're really hard for 1W to fight into, particularly if you can lock heroes in things like the cogs, and then you're just getting permanently silenced. Cloud is just not the one getting targeted here. So this Brew ult is guaranteed going to go off at some point in this fight, and it's hard for Zero to commit in when they know this. Like, at some point, you're okay, maybe I hookshot him here, we can burst him. I don't even know if it would have done it. It's so tanky.
Back in real time where they have picked off both the supports, used the Whirlwind to kill upon those Tinker, and now they've got ZZQ as well. But I think it is really just unfortunate that that last team fight, they smoke into Batrider and the Brewmaster, and it's the Batrider they see first, right? They see the Brewmaster first. I think they hookshot him getting inside of Cogs. He's hit by calling over and over and over again. He just dies.
That's what you're looking for. Now he has a pipe, so
Yeah.
now I don't even know if he dies if you go on him with, you know, just up the haze on the magic resist. You're gonna have like 85% magic resist or something stupid. I don't think you're bursting him.
Yeah, throw Repel on there for another 60% magic resistance.
And you know, we're talking about all this magic resistance they build in this lineup. Not fun for Morta.
No.
These are not fun matchups. You can also just go into the evasion. Also very annoying for Morta. This is why this matchup just kind of sucks all the way around. Not much you can really do to deal with it. You just have to become so powerful that you punch through everything. It's almost like you want him to go into the Brulines so you can kill the Brulines.
Yeah, which is why the panel was calling into question this Muerta pick in the first place. It didn't seem like a great Muerta game with the heroes that were shown. And then obviously the couple of counters that came out after that just makes it that much worse.
I mean, let's be fair though.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if any game is going to look like a good Muerta game on paper. You know, like, you kind of just have to believe in the hero and make it work with your line.
It sounded to me like this is a carry that exists entirely in theory and on paper. And never actually in actuality.
Yeah, a little bit.
There's a lot of theoretical dubs that apparently this hero can take. And no actual ones.
I mean, it's because when you look at her skills and you play the hero, you can see what it's capable of. It's so powerful, you know. And then you go in a fight, you get lasso and die.
Yeah.
All right, that was tough.
Or you get tossed up in the air and you're like, well, there goes my full ultimate.
But
Meanwhile, you're watching Wind Ranger run around with her whirlwind, killing half of your team.
Okay, but I feel like you're taking some of the points away from style here. There's something to be said for style.
Yeah.
Muerta's got a lot of it.
And we may have lost, boys. May have gotten 2-0 eliminated out of TI, but at least we did it in style.
It's not over yet.
That's true.
Is finding a lot of farm here. This is a good Gleipnir hero. Gives them even more control, more lockdown. If you can get some BKBs up, we didn't talk about it, but if you can get some debuff immunity or magic resistance first one dub.
What a timing there for the Cogs. It doesn't do anything to save ZZQ, but it does help his carry get out of there.
I feel like I've seen this before.
Yeah.
This is the same play game one, the 20-minute instant Tormentor contest.
Yeah, they're doing it without an Aegis, which is maybe cause for more concern.
Just a very heads-up play. I think it's one of those moves where it feels like anytime you can make it with directness, it ends up working for you, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to find somebody there in this 20 to 21 minute mark, and you're going to get a good reward if you don't. Team Zero just not ready to take the heads-on fight yet. They need this Mars BKB. They need more time for the Muerta.
In order to get those BKBs, they've got to rat out the map a little bit. Again, they've given up their Tormentor, but will find their Wisdom Rune uncontested.
You have to think about how the map's getting split between this Tinker and Batrider. Both these four positions, they want to clear waves. They want to create some sort of pressure that forces the enemy team to respond to them.
They're doing a pretty good job of staying ahead of 1W as they
But they are losing out on the
pickoff.
map. That's the concern here. This Tinker is not Omega fat. The space is starting to close, and you're about to lose Roshan here. Really need the BKBs. You're going to have to make something happen with the Muerta and the Mars BKB. And 1W are going to have an Aegis to play with here, and a very strong Brewmaster, man. Cloud he's just turned it up this series. He has yet to die, by the way, in either game.
very impressive.
I don't know if he's going to die in this game either. If he gets his Radiance, you're putting Evasion on top of the Magic Resist, on top of its HP, on top of the Omni Knight that can bail him out if you really need it.
Problems mounting up for Team Zero. And all they can do is try and farm their way out of them. This 1W gets the Aegis on Munkushi, and we'll see what objectives they're able to take with this next 5 minutes. BKBs are coming in, though, for Team Zero. That's the farm that they need. BKBs, they get it on Mars, get it on Erica here. Maybe